All right, hello and welcome to the Swedish TTS League final. Um, Today we are going to watch Alexander Lutz or Flex here versus Decentman in the final. I'm gonna do a quick look at the decks first. It's Decentman with Luke Yellow, who has beaten Green Han and Green Krennic on the way. Uh, this is a what would you say, a non-traditional deck, which is pretty good. Focuses on a lot of discarding and disrupting your hand with Spark of Rebellion and Shopper and stuff. Uh, then here we have the Krennic Green ECL, a bit different. Doesn't run any of the Avengers, which is so it's very light on space, focusing more on Veers and the Imperial stuff, and with Piet. So both players are ready, so we are going to jump in here, and we'll see here when they import their decks. All right. So this is the final, of course, then of the Swedish TTS League. 20 players uh, with 4 rounds of Swiss into a top 8 cut. In the top 8, top 4, and final, they have been forced to play the same deck basically. Uh, the Krennic player has beaten Shirit Red, I think, on the way, and has beaten Blue Iden, double Blue Iden. So we look here. We have Piet and Resupply, which is pretty good. Decentman is mulliganing, so we will not need to. I think actually we're just gonna look at it from this perspective. It's too weird to look at it sideways. So Decentman has a solid start. He has Spark of Rebellion. That's going to go off as his first action. Will most likely steal the resupply, and that would be really nasty for Flex here, or at least on the Lutz, because now he has absolutely no play incoming. Decentman does not sit on the best things to dump for next round, but better than nothing. All right. So a bit of a saving grace here, getting the Laser Technician for the Krennic. We see Obi-Wan getting resourced. It's not the best card, so I think that is solid. Here comes the 1 damage. I think that is he's trying to bait out a unit so he can go ECL in with the Super Laser Technician, which is kind of risky because if he has a spark here, he's forced to play the Inferno 4. Of course, he's claimed there, that's why the fast shields are arriving. Another Cargo Juggernaut to the not discard pile, the resource pile. And Decentman has drawn a Luke now. He has the Cunning, he has the Saber for Luke, but the only play he has this turn is basically Millennium Falcon, which I don't think he's super excited about, but I think he's going to be forced to do, which means he will probably need to resource Luke's Lightsaber or Vanquish. I'm going to assume he's going to go for the Lightsaber actually, because the other cards are too important in certain situations. All right, so Vanquish gone, hoping that he can draw into something good to stop the Krennic player when it needs to. Here comes 2 damage and the heal. So I assume it's just going to be Inferno 4 here for the Krennic player, trying to find whatever. Quite nice for Decentman that he doesn't have anything to play on the ground. He wouldn't want to anyway, so it's going to be a delayed like ramp. We do see the Walker of course, on hand, which if he can ramp into that, it's gonna be, especially with Piet on board, because he also has no, he's not, he can't deal with Piet at the moment either. So see here, it comes 2 damage. 1, 2, 3. So it's 25 HP to what would you call it? 25 HP to 30. So there is a chance for the Luke player to actually kind of win this damage race out in space, waiting for the ramp part. Because if we look back to the list, like he only has the patrol spacer in mainboard, basically to stop this. And that is actually the only spaceship in the deck, except Inferno 4. Then you have sideboard Relentless and what's it called? Concertum Star Viper. So I think there's a very good strategy here, even though it's kind of forced upon him, not necessarily chosen, to go full space here. We'll see if he pays for the Falcon. He does, which makes sense. And then the Falcon gets stolen. That's a pretty good play, because it doesn't look like Flex here or Alexander Lutz has a lot to play anyway, you know, or pay with in the future. So this is pretty solid. Now we can start trading off the board, starting to win the board a bit. And I think it's going to be a shopper into Lothal Insurgent happening here. And the Lothal Insurgent, that's going to decide quite a lot what's going to happen. Let's see here. There comes that trade. Yep. And Decentman does not want to play it because like that one trades and dies directly to the Super Laser Technician. So we're going to see a shield first. And that one gets traded right away with Piet. Piet getting a little bit buffed. And now if he wants to discard, this is the time. So let's see here. Oh, another Walker. So even if a Walker gets discarded here, it's going to be a bit rough. That's a bit sad. I think he should have reshuffled there because there's potentially this man could know which card is which is was after the spark in the beginning, but Decentman now will think he's quite safe because he's discarded the Walker. Of course, now he isn't that safe because there is another one in hand. So we'll see here. Next turn is the Luke round, but it's also maybe a cargo Juggernaut hand here for Alexander Lutz that has gone up to 7 resources, so he can pay for Falcon and play that cargo Juggernaut, which he can EZL. So this could be like a very game-defining round. We'll see if he starts hitting stuff right away, because Decentman looks pretty prepared to do a cunning play here. And I actually don't think he needs to ECL it, right, the Juggernaut, because it's 6 and plus with Piet, so he can just run out right away and save the ECL even. Decentman is probably going to play cunning here and knock up the Falcon because he gets it back to his hand, and then might go for a discard, but could also go for a double tap. But I'm pretty sure that the Falcon is going to go up on hand. Like the problem is like getting the discard could be really huge. If he gets the power of the dark side, Luke is so free to get out. So we'll see here. Otherwise, Luke is going to die. That is easily easily made sure of. So let's see what things are coming. Okay, so it's a double tap and a discard. So he does not bounce the Falcon. Interesting. Shuffling it around a bit. Walker number 2. So there's 3 walkers in the deck, but now they're starting to disappear. Here comes the Juggernaut, killing there and gets the 4 HP back. And what he can do the ambush trigger first, get the damage, and then he adds the shield afterwards. So you can see there they're having a discussion. He actually did that to me when were playing Screaming a little bit a few days ago. So it was a feature I wasn't really aware of. So let's see here. Now he tries to maximize the damage here, which could be scary because the power of the dark side on Luke here is a massive play. So we'll see what Decentman wants to do here. I think he needs to take care of Piet. Problem is that if Alexander and Lutz here claims and have Steadfast Battalion, Luke is mega dead in a different way. It should definitely be a claim here. Doing the 3 damage is not worth it. But the 3 damage are coming in, which, like, if Decent just plays Luke the first action next round, it's not gonna matter that much. But we'll see. Here comes the problem with Krennic sometimes. The shit draws in the mid game because you have a lot of units that are good in the early to mid game, but to the late mid game, these are crap, you know. And he actually chooses not to resource. That's very interesting. Decentman can cunning here if he wants to, but I think it's just gonna be a slam Luke and maybe kill the Inferno 4, which is kind of sad. Otherwise Luke can't heal anything out on the board, so both are sitting with a bit awkward hands, not knowing that the other one has an awkward hand. Like more power units on the Decentman side, so he's gonna go for cunning right away here. I assume it's gonna be a discard coming here and a double tap on the Krennic and the Juggernaut, so Luke can't die. Problem is Luke gonna super die now to the power of the dark side if it's not getting discarded. Let's see. Still deciding, it looks like. So there comes the double tap, and here now it actually counts the bounce, which is a little bit surprising, I would say. And here comes the kill, and now he can't trigger with the Luke on it, which is sad for him. He's just gonna have to claim basically, and we'll probably see the Super Laser Technician because, like, why not? Okay, the Viper Droid gets the information. I think it's the better play. So I just thought, getting the resource. I think the Super Laser Technician is just gonna be a resource next round. He puts in 2 damage because, like, what's he gonna do about Luke anyway? Oh, that's a top deck. Steadfast Battalion, but a pretty good. He cannot seriously consider throwing it, right? as a resource. He has the ECL left. And I think it's way better than Gideon at the moment. I think you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could resource Gideon and play Steadfast plus the Superlaser Technician, getting big value. That is the line he chooses. No, yeah. Like he's of course scared of drawing like more low-cost units later. We see Decentman coming up with Vigilance here, which is pretty big. Then you don't have to sacrifice, do the Luke play right away. But from this position right now, I think it's like it's quite favorable for Krennic. Let's say unless he just draws bad, because he has such a massive board. Of course, there is a lot of healing in Decentman's hand, so Decentman does not have to be afraid, but he doesn't have a lot of good ways to deal with a lot of this board. So starts with Redemption. You wonder if he's healing, how much he's healing. He should be healing something, I think. Maybe he wants to be out of takedown range, at least. We'll see if he remembers the damage on the Inferno 4, that one does 3 and not 2. He does not, it looks like. So here's gonna go a clean trade. And now he also gets to stack his deck here. That's one of the mistakes that everyone does almost against Krennic. Like at some point, even though you're experienced or non-experienced, like just forgetting that Krennic is Krennic. I think here that was such a massive blow. I think the game is probably over. Here he should also just play a Steadfast, just laying it down together with the Superlaser Technician. Yeah, that was he needed more resources than possible, and this board should be unsurmountable for Decentman. He has like at the moment no answer to the Steadfast Battalion, which means it's going to be 7 damage straight to face. Spark goes down because I think maybe Fleet Lieutenant could have gone down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because you can play Luke with Spark. You cannot like, sure he wants to shield it now, I guess is the thing. It's gonna kill the Viper Droid, but it's 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 15, 16, 17 damage. So if he just goes face with everything, he's going to just win. He starts with a barrage here on Luke for 7, yeah. So now it's even more. Now it's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage just to face. So they're calling it game 1. All right. Game 1 goes to Krennic. We're just gonna mega assume that Luke are going to want to go first here, and we'll see a little bit what they sideboard. I think looking at the sideboard of Krennic, I think maybe you would want the Vanquish and some Relentless for more late game, more space. And in the case of Decentman, his sideboard, maybe Sneak Attacks could help, maybe another Vigilance could help. There is, I don't think Booty will do much in this matchup. Waylay is not that good. I think it's probably Vigilance, and the Vanquish, of course, get the 3rd Vanquish in for the bigger stuffs, even though Flex Alexander Lutz here is playing with like less less things, you know. And Decentman is of course Johan Rosenströmer here in here. It's just his gamer tag. I'm trying to say the gamer tags to people, but in here it's Flex and Johan. So we have another resupply start here and he's just gonna keep it. His resupplies into Steadfast Battalion. Decentman does not have the spark this time, so just chopper down into a claim, which means now resupply is guaranteed. And there's the shield on chopper. And next round. I think here is going to be a cell block guard going down because the steadfast is going down. I have to say I think is a big mistake because I think the steadfast is way better than Gideon Hask. No doubt in my opinion. There goes a Vader. That's pretty naughty. Decentman developing a fairly good board here with Ezra, Bridger, and Chopper. Which like I think if you're not keeping Steadfast Battalion here, I think you shouldn't run it at all. You probably just run a 30 HP base instead. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's also a strategy just for this matchup, which I don't know. I haven't played this matchup myself. So Gideon comes out with it, getting the experience token. We'll see here if Decentman goes bold and puts a lightsaber onto Chopper and try to end Gideon with it. I think that could be the best play here instead of Kanan. Which like would not because if you would then have played Steadfast instead here, you would have gotten a few damage on the base, and you still have a threat, and he still might need to do this play. Now you're basically what's going to happen here is that you lose the damage from the Steadfast, and Chopper is going to be kind of nasty because Krennic cannot deal with him himself. And here's going to come a discard, I think, from his hand if they remember it with the Chopper. I think Krennic should probably just claim now, so he knows he can do the power of the dark side. Problem is, it's going to be an R2 coming out. I'm blocking that completely. This Chopper is pretty big. I don't think you want to go into it with Krennic. Yeah, there comes the claim. There comes an R2. R2 is going to get a shield. This is actually looking quite good for Luke. Like especially with looking at a hand, it's a Kanan next turn that's going to get shielded into a Luke Skywalker on turn 6, and then turn 7 and like the big Luke. The 2 power of the dark sides are at the moment quite useless. So he needs to draw into something good here with the since he has ramped, he needs. Now we've seen a Walker and a Vader get lost, which means like actually it's only like 4 high-end cost cards left in the deck, which is not necessarily. It's not necessarily that he's gonna hit those. That's 4 damage and a discard, and if that's a steadfast, well that one is not good anymore anyway. So the Luke Yellow has the option to turn into a mill deck later in the game, which can be quite, what would you say, quite rough to deal with. See here comes the heal and the shield. This is a like getting a bit of a board, but it's not like if something just dies, if he just suicides his R2 when he has Luke on hand, he's just gonna smash through that shield with Luke. I think this is a, and I do not want it to sound like if he had played the Steadfast, this would be a completely different story, but because it still would look quite like this because of the hand, but still think it was probably the wrong call to bet on Gideon. And we see another Luke's lightsaber, so we could like see it removed from Chopper later, just to give an extra swing. Since there is like for villain, they have not much card removal from the opponent's hand. Those cards he is gonna need to deal with, and looking at this, it's not gonna happen. It's a bad turn this time for the Luke player. It's only Luke's lightsaber, so he's gonna have to deploy Luke. I think he should almost start with deploying Luke, attack, and then give a shield, and then play the lightsaber, something like that. It's really important that the R2 stays alive here. And here comes a mill. Another mill card. The resupply going really good for Flex or Lutz. Because that he did not want to draw next round. 36 to 32. Not very close to the mill just yet. He needs this to drag out quite much longer. Now actually Krennic, because Krennic is Imperial, will do 4 and kill R2. I think R2 could have done as well, gone into Veers there, just put some damage on Veers. I am not sure if that matters. Maybe not actually. Maybe just doing 1 to bases is good. Here R2 dies, which opens up for really good power of the dark side. So I'm gonna kind of take it back here. Now it looks very favorable for the Krennic player. Must say. Here comes the power of the dark side. It's gonna be Kanan dying, I assume. And Luke is just gonna have to kill something, and I think it's gonna be Veers. Goes into Krennic, interestingly. That's 4 damage to Luke. Oh yeah, of course. Then the lightsaber and the heal, of course, and the shield. So totally forgot about that. This stabilizes a bit. It's gonna be hard. No, it's not. Sorry. It's just gonna be power of the dark side and a murder on Luke, which will lead into another Luke. So we see that this man has sided in his booties, which I feel kind of questioning about, because the most cards in Alexander's decks is actually not events. It is units. So there is quite a big chance he's gonna miss with him. Let's see, here comes the first Luke, at least. Gonna kill the. Oh, it doesn't kill it because it's Imperial, right? So it has to kill Veers. Yeah. And now we can see a board developed here with a Piet and a cell block guard. And just Lutz Flex just go to what's it called? I can't zoom because it's not. Oh, okay, it's not Imperial. The Juggernaut is not Imperial. Okay, that's why it works. My bad. So no mistake here. it looks fairly well. This is quite up to debate now, like up to anyone. It's 0-0. I think just looking at the hands, it's quite Luke favored. Until he draws something good, this is Luke favored. Here comes Cunning. Most likely a hand discard, I think, and taps. Unfortunately for Decentman, if he goes hand discard, he's gonna find out it's a pretty bad hand. Yeah, see, he goes for a hand. And then up with that guy, yeah, because he wants to be able to hit Veers, but he can just replay it, so it actually doesn't make much of a difference. It's gonna take 4. Now Veers can trade into Luke. Yeah, that's gonna happen. And this is just playing Leia just to get something on the board. Tapping Piet, saving 1 damage. I'm not sure how great that is. We're gonna see a spaceship here at least. Getting something out here, I think. Okay, now we have something actually happening. But on the other hand, it's Vigilance into the Lothal Insurgent. And this Vigilance is probably gonna be milling. If he's gonna play that right away, it's probably... He can only mill in shield with those 4 HP bars though, which are both quite rough. Same goes with Luke. It's a bit, and he cannot suicide lay either, so I think it's just gonna be 2 to base, maybe 2 into Piet, and in case something happens, he could have like killed Luke or just vigilance the Piet, but no. Oh, 3 to base, playing it slow. And this is where it becomes a little bit awkward for Decentman. If he had done the 1 damage to Piet, he could have just played Luke here. So now we're most likely looking to like a heal for 3 and a discard for 6. Then into a Lothal Insurgent, which are going to hit pretty good. These cards can be really determined on match. Walker. Okay, so 1 Walker is gone. I'm not sure if it's another Walker in this game or not, but it's a Walker. And as we said, the late game of his deck, unless he sideboarded in some Relentlesses, are like, there are only 3 Vaders and 3 Walkers. There is no other late game. So here comes Vader. And now we'll see if he takes the Death Trooper to just kill off Leia right away, or if he goes Veers. Yeah, I think Veers is the right play. And now Decentman kind of wants to hit that barrage, I think. Oof. Here comes the shuffle. And it's the Piet that goes. Lucky for for Lutzi. And yeah, of course he does 2 damage now because he is Imperial buffed with Veers. Now, Luke's gonna have to work. Luke's gonna have to work, but we see another pretty shitty draw coming in from Krennic. Of course, he has the board, so it's not unless Decentman finds a way to deal with this board, it's not gonna happen. But I think it's gonna be a slam Luke into the Veers. I hope it's just a spark first. Spark into Luke. Spark, get that barrage, and then into Luke. Then Luke will deal with Vader. And he will 2, 4, 6. He won't get the shield though, which is the sad part, but it's better than just getting nuked. So we know Luke is coming. So he should be attacking with Veers now, because Veers is the best target for Luke. And there we go, 3 damage with Veers. Luke's still just gonna kill Veers, I think. Could have gone -3 on the Vader just to save some damage, because Vader and Piet can just clean Luke, and then he builds a board with with the Inferno 4. And I think you start with playing Inferno 4 here and see what you have in coming up. Yeah. So obviously we can't see here, but if it's not the high-end cost, just put them both on underneath. One is top, so I'm just gonna assume that's Vader or Walker. Yeah, trading both there. It looks very suspiciously like a Vader, maybe a Walker. I think either or. No, it's a takedown and treacherous. Now treacherous actually works because he low rolled an Ezra, but I don't see why you would keep the treacherous. Knowingly, you really need to find the Vaders most likely. Like treacherous is gonna be amazing here now, stealing the Ezra, but or you might just take down. But I think it's treacherous is way better. Getting a shielded Ezra is going to be like really, really good. And here comes the Vanquish onto his own Ezra. This man is like needs to start the top decking, and that is a low roll if I ever seen one. That will probably be the hand that decides this. Because this is going to be 4 more damage, taking him to 20. Just look at the hand, he's going to see this Luke's lightsaber, and he's basically going to know that this is game over. We just, of course, still need to play it out. Here comes the shield. Now he can take down it if he wants. I think takedown is the right choice, to be honest. I guess it's of course worth waiting until he puts down the lightsaber. You can actually also just play the Death Trooper to bait it a little bit first. Here he takes that. Okay, so at least he doesn't lose the lightsaber. So he has the card remaining. I think you just play the Death Trooper here, right? To have. Okay, guess not, because I don't think there is anything he could have had to punish to play that. Here comes Obi-Wan though. And with the Death Trooper now on board with damage on himself, would actually have killed Obi-Wan right away. It's easy to know that now, you know. But, I don't think there was any like real punish to playing it since he doesn't run. This is open decklist, so he knows it's not out of aspects lose to place a blast coming in or something like that. It's still probably like no worries. You just play the barrage here on one of the ships, and then you're gonna kill Obi-Wan with that and win the game. Yeah, works on the Viper droid as well. And there we go, 2-0. Krennic wins 2-0. It looked really well for the Luke player, but for Decentman, but no. So 2-0, and congratulations to Alexander Lutz, Flex, for being the new champion in the Swedish TTS League. And thanks for watching, and leave comment, likes, and subscribes in the channel. And see you next time. Bye.